A little over a month. That's how long we have until we finally get The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. Hey everyone, it's Yggdrasiel and welcome back to another one of my videos. We're going to be dipping into The Legend of Zelda for a little while, with Tears of the Kingdom just being a few weeks away. So with all that said, I wanted to give my hopes and expectations for the game now that I think we've pretty much been shown, everything that Mr. Aonuma and the Zelda team and Nintendo want to show us. Who knows, they might display a little bit more in a final trailer just to sort of amp up the fans, maybe about a week before the game is released. We just don't know, but I really don't think we're going to be seeing much more than what they've shown. They clearly want to keep their cards close to their chest. So with all that, I'm going to just give my final hopes and really expectations for the game. Now, before we get in, I myself was not on board with Tears of the Kingdom up until this final trailer. It wasn't even the fact that people thought it was going to be a Breath of the Wild sequel, but I have to admit, I was worried that there would be a little too much similarity. And then the 10-minute presentation just absolutely took my breath away with the level of ingenuity and the seamless transition between the sky world and the ground world. So those are a few things that helped to make me feel more secure, and I went out and I pre-ordered the game for myself. Unfortunately, I can't play during its release weekend. I worked 3 days straight. Yay! But I don't know, maybe I'll stream it, maybe I'll just have like little spoof videos, or maybe I'll just have a lore video, because that was what today's video was going to be about. I was going to try and do a lore video on the Zonai. Let me know if you would like me to do that. But that's not the purpose of this video. This video will be my hopes and expectations. So, hope number one, let's start right away. I hope that the Sky World and potentially the Underground will not just be left for only Link to explore. What I mean by this, I would kill to have NPCs go up into the sky, have the Rito join us up in the sky, have the Gorons start going underground for minerals. Maybe a vast lake reservoir underground could have some of the Zora go with it. Or maybe, Robbie's little shack of ingenuity has come up on the sky. Imagine just NPCs with small towns as they've begun to rebuild, and we saw footage of them rebuilding this overworld after the events of Breath of the Wild. So maybe some of these structures and settlements would be up in the sky as well. Imagine a huge chunk of Earth goes up in the sky and Terry Town is on top of it, I would really sorely be disappointed if all the NPCs have to be left behind in the ground world every single time. There's 3 potential modes of verticality in this game: the base world, the sky world, and potentially an underground world. Which we've seen a few caves in the trailers. I just hope they're a little more than just a few caves. Huge underground caverns relating to the Zonai would be incredible to see. But more than that, it would really mean a lot more if Link does not leave the world behind and is just left to himself with a bunch of mobs in this sky world. Give us some NPCs that are interested in exploring. The Rito would be excellent characters to see in the sky world, for example, going around flying with all this new terrain up in the sky that they would be the sort of masters of in charting out this new territory of Hyrule, so to speak. So that's my first hope. Now, I mentioned also rebuilding just now, and that's my second hope, is there's some sort of restoration effort going on, and maybe Link can assist. And I mean assist with the power of the Ultra Hand feature that he has. And that just leads into the next section, Ultra Hand itself. Not just rebuilding with Ultra Hand, but imagine side quests where, say, a sort of merchant, his cart gets stuck, and Link has to sort of escort him to the nearest stable master by Ultra Handing his cart and having the NPC walk slowly and steadily. There's a few different ways Ultra Hand could work, and when I mentioned that rebuilding effort, imagine a effort like Terry Town 2.0, so to speak, But instead of just assigning the pieces and resources for Terry Town, Link actually contributes in his own way by moving, like, say, pallets around, or shuffling the logs together for the housing with his Ultra Hand features. Or maybe something has fallen over and you need to rewind time to get it back into position so someone doesn't get hurt. You know, there's a few different ways that Link's new features could be implemented in the game, and I hope they're just really beyond combat and base exploration in the form of travel that we got to see in the 10-minute trailer. Now then, another expectation is lore. I'm a big lore nerd. We clearly know the Zonai are returning. As much as it shames me to say that I didn't quite pick up on it in my reaction trailer. I don't know why. It was just, it's been a few years since I picked up Breath of the Wild, and I'm not as savvy as some. But when, I made the connection with the Zonai returning, or like more information about them, the Zonai, they seem to have a similar appearance to Link's arm. Their architecture is more prevalent than ever before, even though it was in Breath of the Wild. And with the Sky World being a prominent feature, and, the history of the Hylians is rooted in the Oka from Twilight Princess. Will we be seeing Oka? What about the Twilight themselves, Some similarity with the glowing green energy as compared to some of the energy in the Twilight Realm. So, Tears of the Kingdom has a lot of opportunity, not just for Breath of the Wild lore to expand upon, but to call upon the lore of the pre-existing games through Twilight Princess, through Skyward Sword, maybe some Ocarina of Time as well. There's quite a lot that can be done here, and I've no doubt that this is all information they're purposely keeping from us. Now, I also mentioned the potential for 3 modes of verticality, the Sky World and the Ground World, but there's also the potential for the Underground World. If you look at the majority of the trailers and the footage that we've seen so far for Tears of the Kingdom, Nintendo has purposely kept us looking up towards the sky, or at least keeping our heads at level down below. But it was only in that first trailer, and maybe a little bit in the second trailer, that they showed us just a few glimpses of the underground, that there's clearly something underneath. It ties in with the Zonai. So I don't want this to just be a handful of caves, or maybe like a small dungeon relating to Zonai. Make an underground Hyrule, essentially. Like, the ruins on top of the ruins of Hyrule would be immense. And just, we can have explorers like how I've been saying Robbie and Pura, if I recall, Pura? I'm sorry. We could have them try and lead this navigation effort, or spelunking effort, after Zelda goes missing. The Sheikah could also be involved in some way because of their devotion to the Kingdom of Hyrule itself, especially in an era where they're probably seen a little more favorably upon after everything that happened with the king in the 100 years prior to Breath of the Wild. So there's just quite an opportunity for lore to be present, and again, not just pertaining to Breath of the Wilds, but also to the pre-existing Zelda games. It would be massive if Tears of the Kingdom picks up on this. So then, more NPCs in not just the base world, but also just joining us up above or down below. Modes for Ultra Hand, just ways that it can be implemented into side quests, into puzzles, into modes of interaction that are just beyond transportation, as we're seeing right now. As awesome as the transportation is, I've no doubt probably in the first day the game is out, you're probably gonna have some dude link up 50 fans to a log or something, and that's gonna get like hundreds of thousands of views, just like, oh my gosh, look how high he can go, but really just the level of innovation in Tears of the Kingdom that I saw from this 10-minute trailer alone has really sold me. on this game. I was not sold on it up until I saw this, which is a shame to say because I love Zelda. I've played it since Majora's Mask. I've played the majority of the main home. I've played all of the main home ones, excuse me, and I'm still trying to go through some of the port ones, the portable ones like Oracle of Ages and Oracle of Seasons. But I truly love the Zelda franchise, and I would love to see how Tears of the Kingdom adds to it. And really, the level of innovation here has been spectacular to see between the amount of combinations we'll hopefully be able to get between the use of items and with fusion. I really would like to see a good few more building blocks be implemented into the transportation vehicles beyond just, fans and some wheels. Give us a few extra things. Like the glider looks like that big glider one looked really cool. I want to see a few more things, pretty much. But I'm still happy nonetheless. In fact, so happy this actually urged me to go and pre-order my copy of the game, which I unfortunately can't play in the opening weekend because of work, so oof on that. We'll just honestly have to see what else that the game has in store for us, and I really feel that it's sort of the same vibe. It's funny because Elden Ring took from the Zelda series, or from Software, takes from the Zelda series to make Dark Souls and Elden Ring itself didn't really, fans didn't know what to expect of that overworld until the game was out, like the majesty of it, the people exploring, just saying like, whoa, this world is incredible. And now I feel that Tears of the Kingdom took back from Elden Ring, which took back from Breath of the Wild, and now we are going to really be in for quite an adventure. Yes, some of the pieces still look the same. I know that a lot of people are going to be upset about this game looking exactly the same, but to that I bring you, again, Majora's Mask. All the same pieces as the Ocarina of Time. Some of the characters are just exactly the same, but they might have just been named a bit differently. But the assets are still the same. They have the option to tell a new story. There's new modes of interaction. There's so many ways to reorganize the pieces of a puzzle, and not only that, but innovate upon those pieces itself, that the game feels entirely new. And much like we had a Breath of the Wild bring out a breath of fresh air with their level of ingenuity. I mean, we still see things new even like a few weeks past. I see new videos about things that I didn't even know about Breath of the Wild. I can only imagine that for Tears of the Kingdom, there will be years and years that there will be interactions that we will not see or even know about. So that's where I'm going to leave it. My final expectations, I'm absolutely looking forward to Tears of the Kingdom. It's going to be, I don't want to say my favorite game right on the bat, but with the level of freedom, because I always truly treasure freedom in these RPGs, these expansive, exploratory games. We'll just have to see how it all ends up, but I'm quite looking forward to it, and I hope that you all are as well. But that's where I'm going to leave the video for today. So I hope you all enjoyed hearing what I have to say. Who knows, maybe you also agree with me on some of the things that I brought up. Do you think that we should have a lot of NPCs? Do you think we should have more side quests, many more side quests than we got in Breath of the Wild? Do you feel that we can be using Ultra Hand and Fusion just beyond combat? Let me know down below. Let me know if you would be interested in seeing more Zelda content. And with all that said, have a great day.